Invitational brought to you by Twitch TV. We are live from the Starladder Arena in Kiev, Ukraine. And we're in the middle of our grand finals. We've already had 2 games, and potentially there's another 3 coming your way. The series is tied 1-1 between Team Liquid and Mineski. And with me are Kyle and Moo from Complexity, who unfortunately got knocked out early, but fortunately for me, I get to have them on my panel. It's really nice. And you're actually joining us in a conversation that was being had right now, because I have been learning something about the color orange. Kyle was telling me about how that's has an impact in Dota 2.
Well, don't quote me on this. So hopefully no one's recording. But the way we always, EG does, most teams have their mid player as blue because of the way damage is calculated. If you're playing against a Zeus as an example, and your entire team is Mirana invised, the Zeus ult goes down in order of the colors. So if you're all together, Zeus ult doesn't affect heroes that are currently invisible. So it'll strike the blue player, do no damage, but reveal his team, and then do damage to all of the other heroes. And I'm not 100% certain it is how it is now, but before Reborn, it was much easier to blink out a phase shift and like tons of spells, like when you're afraid, essentially, when you're playing as blue, because of the way damage is calculated. Because it's like a frame advantage. I don't know how to explain it. All I know is if you're playing puck, be blue or pink, I think.
Or be blue or pink. Shouldn't you be then the last person on the list?
No. You want to be the first because you have the most time to like respond in a sense.
All right.
I don't know how to. Yeah, it's weird.
How do we test this? How do we know if this works?
Test it. Just Zeus ulting things.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say about just Arc Warden real quick, I see it as a form of this. It's like this patch is Alchemist, where I think it's really good when you pick it against inferior teams or teams you have momentum or an edge against. It gives you more room to make mistakes. The way to beat it is obviously to do similar things to Liquid, where you just have all this map control, you have tons of things, and you're taking this huge early advantage. Yeah. But they're not a bad team, so like they're not going to make the mistakes that would give the Arc Warden this extra item here, extra item there. Oh, now he's even, now he's ahead. Oh no, there's Arc Warden problems. Like Liquid's not going to give you that room. They're going to go straight for the jugular. Yeah.
There was, in the first game that we saw, a lot of map control for Mineski. And they kind of lacked it this game. Was that mostly because of the way the game was played, or was there something lacking with the heroes?
The Fury and the illusions. Like, who gets vision for their team? Like, they literally have Clock Rocket.
Anyone.
No Night Stalker, Venom for the other team.
So does it make you prioritize them higher in the next draft, you think?
Yeah, I mean, first pick is obviously a very large thing for these teams, and I'm curious to see who gets first pick this game.
Yeah. It's interesting. Both teams, I believe, first pick has been Dire both games, which I would say is like the best of both worlds. So I'm not sure. Like, we have no idea what they're picking.
In the previous series, Liquid had been Radiant both times. Like, we've rarely swapped sides. Normally one team just prefers Radiant and then sticks with it.
That might be it. I don't know. We prefer Dire. Some teams prefer Radiant. Who knows?
Why do you prefer Dire, if you care?
Honestly, Dota's like such a it's just such a hard game. Like you have, let's say you like crush a game. It's really difficult to look at your draft or your. It's hard to identify why you won. And when it comes to like side and pick, you have to choose that every single game.
Yes.
And it's like, do you feel better on Radiant? Like, we won 3 games in a row. We lost our last one on Dire. Same with pick. Like, it kind of just comes down to whatever the team is feeling like. And sometimes you can just throw a curveball by choosing something they don't expect. Like, it's really just personal preference. I honestly don't know, and I've been playing the game for 3.5 years, so.
What do you like better, Radiant or Dire?
I preferred first pick, personally.
Okay, so you don't care.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know now.
I mean,
just in time.
Sometimes you're hard to get through.
Perfect. Well, luckily we have qualifiers coming up in like 3 weeks or so we'll be ready for those.
Now you are.
No.
I'm glad I was able to help you with that one a little bit.
It's a real shame. We'll be at the Perfect World Minor, and we'll miss the Mars TV Minor qualifiers, so won't be able to make it to that LAN. Very disappointed.
Actually, I can't tell if you're serious or not.
Very serious.
Very serious.
Very serious.
I love China.
Same.
You guys are not looking very serious. I just want to point that out. So first pick goes away from Mineski, by the way, to answer your questions.
Yeah, I'm also not sure if they're doing coin flips. This is one of those. I mean, I understand the reasoning, but tournaments just flipping coins first, third, and fifth games, which is what I imagine they're doing here.
Look at them laughing.
Yeah, dude, they're just having fun.
They're like
this is an inspiration right here.
We're gonna take Venno. There it is.
Gen ban first.
What will Liquid do is the question.
Probably
Venno, first pick Venno, so currently undefeated.
They banned Night Stalker as first picks. Now they have to decide whether they ban Veno or Night Stalker, or whether they just like leave both. I don't think you leave both.
I'd like to state for the record that I banned Lich Venomancer every single game, and I'm okay going out that way because, good lord, I still don't know what to do.
When in game number 1, when Liquid was having second pick, it was Enchantress that they banned out in the first phase. Together with
I think because they were valuing Chen much higher. Now they banned the Night Stalker. I don't think they want it, and they don't want to leave it because you don't want to pick it into Veno because Night Stalker's pretty bad versus Veno.
Yeah, it's also amazing with Veno, as we saw in the first game.
Yeah, you don't
more
wanna give
vision.
them-
Yeah, I really feel like as Dota is progressing, teams are getting better and better, and you're gonna see more like the teams that are going to win more consistently will have this emphasis on damage output. And I would say vision is like the ability to do damage and make plays, because the more you see, the more opportunities you can find around the map, huh?
The Green Goblin.
Oh god.
No, the green goblin is Pugna.
I have nightmares about
I
this.
mean,
like,
what is this then?
This is a snake.
He just poops out other little snakes.
Yes.
I'm just so afraid of Veno because it's like if you don't ban it right, they're gonna pick it.
Yeah.
And so you plan around that. But what if they don't pick it, Shiver? Then what? Do you pick it?
You pick it.
I don't know about that.
You pick it, man. Look, it's one every game.
It's a really difficult hero.
Okay, they take Rubik. See,
Nice.
this is
I
a
like it.
common theme. And okay,
Ooh.
Naga Siren.
We switched it
I
up.
like it. I like it. That is
So
a really good hero
The
against
classic
Veno.
counter to Veno has always been illusions, but
Yep.
since illusions have been nerfed like 40 patches in a row now,
Yeah.
it's been harder and harder to counter Veno, and Veno also got buffed, so that's why Veno's just insane right now. But Liquid obviously, they know this because Kuro's been around forever, so he's just gonna pick the illusions. Like you kind of have to.
And Naga's also really nice. I like it a lot as second pick because it still leaves your draft open. That
Yeah.
could be a core, it could be a support, and especially if it's core, you can kill the wards, and like that's the big key. And that was what was missing from Mineski's answer to Venomancer last game, was that they didn't have a way to clear the trash.
Yeah, it clears the wards and it gives you vision against the wards.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's the reason why it's a counter to
Yes.
Yes, and it also like you can if you let's say he goes Ags, you Ags ult the Veno ult, and then everyone heals.
That's true.
I mean, I'm
That's
just
true.
saying it could work.
The
Yeah.
counter to trash is usually just having more trash to throw at the enemy.
Yes, or
Again,
So-
this is good trash.
Yes.
Again.
I mean, yeah, it's when I say trash, again, it's
stuff.
It's
We'll
positive.
use the word stuff.
things, summons, you know, little minions.
Words, illusions.
Yeah.
But I to quote the late great George Carlin, like our
Who?
stuff is their shit. So like it's our stuff, but when they're playing against it, it's shit,
Sure.
and that's how it feels.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Tried and true Earth Spirit picked.
Yep. So far, still 100% win rate.
100%
Previous game,
win rate.
Liquids.
Mm.
Green
So
heroes.
go game 4. Ready?
I like this. Like both openers make a lot more sense to me here. I think that they.
Yeah, these are both very open.
Yeah, like that's another thing. As the game, again, as people get better and better at this game, the more, if you trap yourself in a draft, it becomes much easier for the enemy team to expect and predict what you're going to do. So whenever you do stuff like, again, that's part of the reason I really didn't like the Rubik clock, because they
You picked both your supports. Pretty
yeah,
much.
and they aren't versatile the same way, let's say, like a Furion is. A Furion can itemize a number of different ways. He went mid that game. I mean,
Yeah.
he can rat, he can show up to team fights, he can build like whatever items you need,
Yeah.
and he can either fight or farm or pressure. Like there's a lot of tools at his disposal, whereas a clock is like, I'm going to trap you in my cogs and hit you. And then if you force staff away,
He's gone.
drat. Like there's nothing. Like it's just the end.
So we're going to see where Liquid takes their draft in the third pick. 'Cause they're the ones that pick next. They have to either pick a support or a core, which will reveal whether or not the Naga, like what the Naga will be, or at least it'll piece together the puzzle much easier than like for Mineski.
By the
I
way,
think.
oh sorry.
No, you
Okay.
can go. I don't have anything
Isn't
to say.
Clockwork pretty good against Naga?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Sorry. Never mind. Continue on your point.
Clock is really bad for Illusion Heroes because
Yeah,
then
you can't kill them.
But
Yeah.
she is having so much trouble raising her hands when Clockwork has
Yeah,
battery.
like
so.
again, yeah, it's good if you can
Instant
hook
Mirana.
the right Naga
Okay.
illusion. There's no force staffs or any form of saving the Naga for the entire duration of him going 100 to 0, and that's the issue.
plays pretty bad when you can find him, but yeah, instant Mirana picks. This Naga is still just open. Like
Yep.
it can be a support Mirana, it can be a core Mirana. Naga can just roam. It can still just it can both be core.
Disruptor. Okay, I like it. It gives you a bit more control. I'm not a huge fan of the hero. I like it a lot more now that Furion's banned.
Yeah, they're taking a much more aggressive approach to their drafts.
Yep.
So now they have 2 supports that want to. They have the guy that runs in. They have the Venomancer giving vision for the glimpse.
Yep.
And it's a pretty good counter to the Mirana and to the Naga.
It's also, I love playing against Rubik too, because he really doesn't want to steal any of your spells. It feels like you would want Glimpse on Rubik, but there's just...
It's pretty hard to steal as well.
Yeah, and it's just like, it doesn't do any damage, and you really want like that Fisher, or like in this game, the Veno ult, the wards, the Gale, something like that. I do love the Mirana Naga combo, because as Moose said, it's very open. That Mirana could be anywhere, same with the Naga, and it's a very easy to execute combo. Just Song to Arrow, it's classic, it's good.
It deals with Venom
and
pretty well.
Yeah,
If you
Mineski
can kill him before he ults. It's pretty nice.
Mineski actually was doing this like 3 weeks ago. Can't remember the qualifier, but they were opening Naga Mirana at times, and they moved away from it because it was the only opener I think that Fnatic was able to defeat, although they only did it once. And I haven't seen them use it since then, but obviously Liquid, I mean, it's just, everyone knows what it is. It's good. Now there's like a lot of time. They're going to think about it.
This pick is very important because, again, they have to pick a support or a core, and then that'll solidify their last pick, pretty much.
Yeah, and it will reveal what that Naga is going to do and basically reveal their plan, kind of.
Yes.
If I'm Mineski, I am real afraid. Ooh, an Invoker.
Okay, okay.
Still can go both ways with the Naga still. As
Yeah, I mean, Naga can still be, like, you can have this bottom support. I think it's very unlikely this bottom support, just because it's Rubik bottom doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I'd say it's more likely Naga support in this situation, just running at the Disruptor and Earth Spirit and Veno.
Yeah. I like the synergy with Mirana as well.
The
Leap
net.
was buffed significantly in these last patches, and it's now essentially a troll. It's like 2/3 of a troll ult, but with half the cooldown. So it's pretty much, if you think about it as far as uptime goes, it's like the same bonuses. And when you have Alacrity as well, it's just more damage, and that was what helped Liquid win the last game, where they can just threaten your base or your heroes, and there's the end of Mage. I was thinking Liquid might go there.
This is the first game Mineski hasn't
Undefeated 10-0 Mineski anti-Mage.
Yeah, they've been banned every game except for this one, and they
Is
finally get it.
Is it a good anti-mage game?
It is a very good
It is,
anti-mage
yes.
game. It's good against Invoker, it's good against Rubik, it's good against Naga. Like, I don't know, it's...
It kind of goes both ways. Naga versus AM, like, I still have nightmares about that meta, but that was like... There was a large portion of the Dota 2 history where you would see those heroes match up against each other quite often. And I'm sure you could find carry players that prefer one side of the matchup. I think it can kind of go both ways because both heroes have the tools to deal with one another.
I think a lot of players prefer the anti-mage now.
Yeah.
Just because of how much Naga's been nerfed.
Yeah, the illusions used to be much more threatening, and you could kind of just like kill him in a net, but now he can kind of just hit you.
We are at the moment thinking that a Naga is a support, right?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
So what is Liquid looking for that last hero? Is there something that can still deal with the anti-mage better?
I think you have to apply. You want more pressure. I'm not sure the direction they're going to go, but I like Disruptor, Earth Spirit are both very low damage heroes.
How
Especially
greedy
until
can they
level
be?
6.
I think they could pick another core here, like another farmer. I think the Mirana could go off lane still.
Yeah.
They could pick an off laner. They could pick a carry. Like I think they're probably maybe considering a Bloodseeker.
I think it's going to be Beastmaster.
It could be Beastmaster would be good as well. It'd provide a lot of just things.
The
like
AM lane is really, really weak right now.
susceptible to
Earth
just being
Spirit,
pressured hard. Yeah.
And you don't want to be in a scenario where you're tri-laning your anti-mage, especially with Disruptor Earth Spirit. Both of those heroes are very level dependent.
I think this anti-mage will go mid, personally.
Yep, I would agree. I think that makes a lot of sense, and it's a great match. It's Miracle Invoker.
I think Mineski's smart enough to know that. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Anti-mage is pretty good versus Invoker mid.
Yeah, I agree. It's just
It's Miracle Invoker.
You don't want to
Miracle
put the
Invoker.
Earth Spirit Disruptor anti-mage lane against a potential Naga aggro tri-lane in like a solo Mirana or something, because the Naga is actually very strong against aggro tri-lanes and as an aggressive support hero.
I also like Veno a lot more in the side lanes. It's just easier. Like if Veno's in the mid, it's like you can kind of deal with him. It's like in the middle of the map. But if he's just in the bottom right corner spamming wards, you don't want to go there. You don't want to run.
Even if you kill him, he's just gonna cancer you.
So we're looking for an Ice hero for Mineski?
Yeah, I think potentially. Ice hero.
About Visage.
That is exactly what I was gonna say. That I agree. I think that's an excellent pick here. I like it. Naga core kind of.
They need
it,
damage because they have Earth Spirit Disruptor for the catch, plenty of catch. They have plenty of control with those heroes too, and the Veno. Just need some damage. They need some okay laning. Yeah, the Visage would be fine. I don't really.
I like the Darkseer ban from Liquid, by the way. I think that would have made Mineski's draft like a lot easier to execute. That solves a lot of their damage problems, gives them an easy win condition with the vac and to stun or the disruptor.
Yeah, they're looking for a hero that just shoves some lanes. They're looking, stays strong in the lane and synergizes pretty well with the Earth Spirit. Just pressure. Liquid does not want to get pressured before they lose because they have Naga and Invoker. Eventually, they will win this game if they can perform, which they can. So
yeah, if the game lasts long enough. Ooh, another team fight hero.
I like it. I think they needed more damage. Like that's kind of what's missing from their draft.
This is perfect.
Yep, and this increases the tempo of their lineup drastically, and suddenly like the AM is not able to be ignored. And that's the key, is that if Liquid were in a position where they could just win their lanes, take the early towers, and then just farm the map, AM wouldn't be able to carry this game. But now that there's a mag, there's like you're a lot more afraid. I'm intimidated by it.
Yeah, they're gonna shove the lanes with the Magnus. They're gonna buff the Anti-Mage, accelerate his farm. And the Lifestealer.
Lost.
Okay.
Ooh,
Matama Man, favorite
I don't know.
hero.
I am not a huge fan of that pick. I think Mag AM are the counter to Lifestealer.
Typically, Liquid plays around Miracle, so the Invoker is the carry, and they have a lot of faith in that. So
that's true.
Picking Lifestealer is a bit more, mid-game heavy and solid kind of hero. Mind Control Bottom is what I thought it would be. So
it's great against the supports in the Venom.
They want to match it up against the Magnus. It won't die to Earth Spirit Disruptor, and then they can pressure Mind Control's lane, maybe put more aggression on the Invoker lane, help them out.
Yep.
Pressure
Sunstrike's going to be the key. If Miracle gets a couple Sunstrike kills, early Midas, early Ags, like the amount of pressure they're going to apply is really nice. Ancient Control is going to be a big factor in this game, and specifically which hero works. The AM versus the Invoker, those are the key cores to watch.
I need one team name for you think is going to take this.
I think Mineski's going to win.
I think it's easier for Mineski as well.
All right. That would mean we have two Mineski fanboys on the panel. Let's hear from our commentators and find out if they think the same. Over to Capitalist and Blitz.
Ooh, two back in Mineski, huh? Going into game number 3 with the series tied up 1-1. And our panelists, our pro players, are actually going to be backing the underdogs here, Mineski. Blitz, after watching that draft, you feeling the complexity love here from Mineski?
All right, let's get this out of the way. They want Mineski to win because it makes their tournament run look a lot better.
We lost to the winners.
We lost to the winners
who beat Liquid.
Who knows what could have happened if we played Liquid?
Here I thought it was just good analysis, Will, but I could see the ulterior motive. Thank you for pointing that out to us.
But this is a very good anti-mage game.
Yes.
The only natural counters are the nets and the Rubik lift, but even that is going to cause some difficulties. As soon as he gets something like a BKB, he's going to run through Liquid's lineup.
So they say that best of fives, these final games, they develop their own meta, and it seems like our meta has taken a hard right turn with these unique pickups in Nagasarn and Magnus, neither of which we have seen yet in this tournament, or much of all in this patch post-TI. If we have any action, we'll call it, but Will, can you explain the idea behind both of these heroes? Let's start with the Nagasarn since we're following her on camera.
So I was pretty certain that the Naga was going to be a support as soon as that anti-mage pick came up, just because Naga as a core nowadays is just so underwhelming. These Radiant Space carries and hold that thought as the arrow connects.
Arrow. Ice. He's going to have to charge out of here, but against the cliff. Oh, Mind Control, you leveled up arrow. And don't you look like the fool now, sir. No first blood for you. Let's Sunstrike. No, misses. Nice
Debated.
All according to the plan of Ice.
Dude, I am not doubting that man. I think that was the plan all along.
He looked a little slow, like he actually ran back into them.
Yes, he wanted to make sure he had the angle. He was just setting it up.
Daryl playing 18 chess, man.
So we all said Mineski, right? We all went with Mineski.
Yep, Mineski all the way, baby. Jabs, making a roll in on Miracle, just doing some harassment and establishing what is already going to be a rough lane. Am I wrong in this? The Invoker versus the Venomancer?
I think the Invoker is going to struggle. Of course, this Nagasarn is coming over to try to make something happen, but unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit rough for him.
Yeah, there's not much Jabs can do to match up against the Nagasarn. And is this the...
an arrow.
The arrow from the cliff.
High ground.
From the cliff, Mind Control. Not going to get him the kill. But is this part of the reason that he can stand up to the 4 versus 4 battle?
He can. And the cool thing about this Venomancer pick, by the way, is it's going to delay the game and make things really annoying. Because with this anti-mage, you're just putting Team Liquid on a timer. And I think that's really what both teams want to do in every series. If you notice, you just want to put the enemy team on a timer. You want to make sure that you have the better late game / mid game And right now, I really like Mineski's lineup, but of course, Liquid, they've got a very famous Invoker player on their hands.
Do you actually give Mineski the late game advantage here?
I think so. I have to imagine that this Anti-Mage is... It's not the freest AM game I've ever seen, but it's pretty amazing.
And it's not just an AM carry, but
Yes,
an
it's a
AM
Veno.
super powered by a Magnus and a Veno sort of semi-carrying.
Yeah, this is a pretty well-known strategy just because if Anti-Mage doesn't have that Battle Fury, you can still level up that Empower for him as Mind Control. Gonna get jumped on.
Loses most of his mana in the process, does not have leap, so Ninja Boogie
They
is
still
free
wanna
to get
go.
some extra harassment. Actually does manage to get the glimpse back here. No Thunderstrike whatsoever, and that is what gets them the kill. The double hold, double disable, gets Mushi first blood.
Yeah, and they even wait for him so that he can't get the last hit as Kuro chasing
How
this
did
Veno
this
around.
happen? How is Moon getting chased away by Kuro up to the top lane? Riptide it up, now slowed down. Whoa, a kick in. What is that, GH? Yeah, they managed to get him roll in from jabs. They're going to go for it. Sunstrike doesn't actually land. They need one more hit. Moon, the balls. He turns around and gets the right click on the Naga Siren to finish him off before he is dealt the lethal blow.
Yeah, and getting the last hit there, pretty imperative, but at the same time, he's given up on this mid lane for a little bit, so Kuro still accomplishing his job, but still kills are kills, and Ice 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 having an alright time at top. Of course, Lifestealer versus Magnus, very decent matchup for the Lifestealer, as he can't really get harassed out, and you're not afraid of dying from the Magnus either. Ice 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 has done some crazy stuff, as we saw like 2 minutes ago, but I don't think he's pulling this matchup off.
He's going to try and make the best of it, though, with the Soul Ring that he can pick up from the side shop and just spam out shockwaves over and over again.
He's still done a very good job in this lane overall. It's just he can't really make kills happen.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really have to because he is not the win condition for his team.
Now, is that the sole reason of the Magnus pickup? We said that was the other hero we wanted to talk about that's unique here. It's just about
mid.
getting the Invis picked up on the bottom lane from GH. He's going to set up a kill onto the Venomancer. Hey, kick backwards by jabs gives Moon an opportunity to
Is
live.
that
In fact,
enough?
he's going to be able to Fairy Fire and live. As long as they don't get Sunstruck. Healing cell.
No, he's good.
Moon's definitely good, and they're away.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Very well done. It's really the support play that set the tempo in every single one of these games. Earth Spirit doing quite a bit there. And Anti-Mage continues to just farm up. And yes, that is why I believe they picked this Magnus, because they realize we don't need an offlaner that necessarily has to do a lot, because we've got this Venomancer who can hold this static lane. This Earth Spirit is accomplishing way more than it should early on.
The trio roaming around. Mind Control's giving up on bottom because they want to be able to set up the arrow, but it misses. They don't get the telekinesis follow-up off of the net, and Kuro is going to be the one who suffers here.
Bad news for Liquid. Jabs finding angle behind. Wants
Can
to
he
try
get
to
the kick
slow people
backwards?
down.
Oh, he might just die to the right clicks here. Has to back up to his teammates. Mind Control is pretty low, but the kinetic field's going to block GH in. Excellently placed. They have the glimpse. Ninja Boogie doesn't have the mana, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Mind Control going to leap out, but still net win for Mineski as they committed 3 heroes just to try to kill that lane. In fact, technically there was 4 with the Invoker there. And instead they lose a hero for that. A little bit slow, setting that up with that lift. That arrow whiffs, and it's going to cost them.
A 1k gold lead for Mineski, and it seems like all of our lanes, like Venomancer may be suffering in the mid lane when it comes to CS, but he is 2-0. So he hasn't died yet from all that harassment, and he's also picked up a couple last hit and kills. And as you said, the Magnus just has to survive and get some CS off of top lane. Not going to be getting any kills, but as long as he doesn't die, mission accomplished.
Yeah, still doing just fine as you're right. They're making so much of their rotations happen around this Invoker because they realize this Invoker has to have a really good game. It's truly just an Invoker versus Anti-Mage sort of game, but at the same time, it's opening up this Magnus's farm as he's going to get dove
go
on
for the net. They
quite
have the
deep.
telekinesis as well. Sunstrike being planted out, but GH didn't actually throw the telekinesis in, so the Sunstrike misses. But at mid lane, they're still going to make the dive on a Miracle, and they'll get the kill too. Take out from Poison. He kills himself.
Oh!
Nice play with the Forward Spirit.
Hot diggity.
Miracle with the presence of mind as Mineski backs away from what should have been a guaranteed kill. Gets the suicide instead.
Still, a kill is a kill. In a game like this, you are slowing down what the panel called the true carry of Team Liquid in a game like this. It's this Invoker. And right now, everything going Mineski's way. This anti-mage should have just absolutely uncontested farm.
Now, all this roaming into mid lane from Liquid is trying to alleviate some pressure on Miracle, help him out in lane, but the other way they're supposed to be able to help him out is getting successful pickoffs where they get the Sunstrike kill, and we actually have not seen any of those yet.
That's one of the things that they're best at in general. They're so good at finding kills around the map and creating space through that Sunstrike. That's what really good Exort and Invoker teams do. But this game, they've just been a little bit off the mark. Mineski definitely respecting the power of that Sunstrike. They've been doing evasive maneuvers, like they zigzag, they know.
Yeah.
They have seen enough of these games. They don't want to get highlight clipped.
When it comes to your focus, mid lane, they're actually just going to go straight up on Moon now. Jabs is here to be able to make sure Moon does manage to get himself away from that nasty little engagement.
And this is like the 4th time in a row that they've tried to kill him. The Venomancer, this time it's Miracle by himself, but Earth Spirit just going to sit behind him.
So
Moon,
if you're Liquid, how do your supports focus their time? Is it like 50% trying to gank mid and 50% trying to set up Sunstrike kills? Do you put more presence in Sunstrike kills? Like, which one is it?
I don't know, because it's really hard for them right now to kill this anti-mage lane. The only way they do it is if they get like net into Arrow, into Rubik Lift. So I guess it is possible during this time, but it's probably the only time they get him. Just because once that time fades, Magnus will just level up in power, try to set stuff up. Looks like Miracle.
Roll in
Gonna
on
get
Miracle. Jab's going to be able to get the follow-up stun, silence, and Moon with the ultimate.
Can you do it
again?
again?
Miracle's dead, and he's going
no.
to kill the Force Spirit first, just to make sure that cheeky play isn't available to Miracle.
That's a good presence of mine.
Yeah.
Fool me once.
Ooh, a double damage, bottom lane. Pick up for the Mirana. Can they do something with this?
Yeah. You know what would be cool if Ninja Boogie just waited mid, and as soon as Miracle TP's in, that's the ultimate mid-player tilt maneuver.
Oh, you just kill the mid again when he TP's in?
Nah, you just glimpse him back as soon as he TP's.
Oh, yeah. He has to make the walk of shame to the lane. Boy, this anti-mage is getting big fast. Now, so is the Lifestealer. He's completely free farming as well.
Yeah. You're just less concerned about the Lifestealer, though. There are ways to control him. They have things that go through rage, like that Magnus RP. And mid.
Another roll in.
Glimpse,
Maybe. He does get him inside the kinetic field. Stun silence. Here comes Mass. TP's in from Liquid, but it's not going to be fast enough to stop Miracle from going down. He tried to get the Sunstrike kill on a Ninja Boogie, unable to do so, and the Fate Bolt isn't enough either. They get a lot of damage onto GH from just right clicks coming out from Moon, and they're going to be able to kill Kuro as well. All that armor on Naga Siren is nothing to the magic damage. He gets a triple kill from Moon.
And it's actually Mineski that realizes the true threat. They're honing in on him, and Liquid, their early attempts that failed, really starting to stack up on them as they haven't been able to help the other lanes. Every lane right now for Mineski is going so well.
They keep on being forced back. It's like the way that we saw Liquid just constantly put pressure on that Art Warden lane. It just gave so much space to their side, and they were putting pressure on the true carry. Now it's Mineski doing the same thing, right? They're actually putting all the pressure on the Invoker, and it's forcing those supports to come mid instead of getting those Sunstrike kills.
And both games, the trend has been whoever wins the laning phase snowballs like crazy. In the first game, of course, easily Mineski's. The second game, Liquid's. The third game so far, though, really, really one-sided towards Mineski in the laning phase.
Oh, and they might. Well, Matamba Man, he does have Infest. He does have
Oh, they're still trying to go for it.
But they're still going to be able to get the stun silence. Moonlight Shadow is out. Pop the rage. Turn. Try and kill Ice before you go for it with the RP. Matamba Man, it took a lot of balls for him to try and go for these kills, and he's still trying for it, and it looks like he will not be able to get it. He ends up going down, and the Sunstrike misses as well.
Way off the mark is Mineski. They know. They've played against enough Invokers to know what's coming as.
So they knew his Infest was on cooldown? We haven't seen the Lifestealer in a while, but
I'm not sure.
From the top right, it was on cooldown. So
they
must have just made that read, right? Magnus must have made
known.
the call. Guys, come gank top. Infest is on cooldown. Jabs is being gone on the mid lane, trying to run him down with a cold snap. Now Kuro's going to come in from behind. They will manage to catch Ninja Boogie. A level 4 Disruptor is a small pittance, though, to Liquid, who are currently down 8-2, and may just be down even further as they're going to be able to roll in with jabs, go for GH, and manage to get the kill on Miracle with the help of the Venomancer.
Oh, here comes
Missed
Big
the
Bad
kick.
AM.
He managed to dodge that one, but Moo can't dodge the right clicks from Mushi, who's now here to be able to clean out Kuro's mana and see if they could just run him back all the way to the shrine with the slowdown
him
here
the
from
last
jabs.
hit.
Doesn't quite get it, but they'll finish him off with the ultimate from Mushi.
And Anti-Mage, completely unnecessary rotation, by the way. They would have killed everyone anyways, but he wanted that free gold.
Got to get that money.
Getting closer and closer to that battlefield. Impressively enough, though, Matama Man, despite all of this happening, still at the top of the net worth chart. But the rest of his team, not so lucky.
But when does Matama Man start doing something for his team? Like, he's the beneficiary of all of this laning phase. Everybody else on Liquid is not having a good time. So how does he spend this gold? How does he spend his time
I'm not
in order
sure.
to give Liquid a win?
This game is more complicated because
Okay, well, there's one way.
they don't have the best vehicle for him this time around.
Yeah.
Like, normally when you have this Life Stealer, he's got this Infest combo that instantly pops out, and you can just burst somebody. You just pop somebody out, use a stun, any sort of pull, something like that, you get a kill. But he doesn't have the same way to start these fights. I guess there's Mirana Leap,
Mirana
but
Leap.
that is so inefficient.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great. GH with no HP and hardly any mana is moving forward here to be able to catch Ninja Boogie, and they are going to be able to get the Sunstrike on him, but at least he got the static storm, but an arrow out of nowhere on the right-hand side actually was aimed for the support, but ends up hitting the Venomancer, and they're going to be able to get the kill. He gets the Gale off, though, and that means with the rest of Mineski TPing in, they can go ahead and get the counter kill on a Miracle. They actually went
really
for the
want
RP.
him dead.
They needed him dead. I don't think they had any counter vision, which is why they had to throw that RP when he was outside of that tier 1 tower range.
Yeah, and even with this going somewhat okay for Liquid, they do manage to nab their Venomancer. Look what's happening right now. Anti-Mage just continuing to farm, completely unfazed by all this action as Lifestealer gonna find a freebie here.
Caught again.
he
Jazz
gets
gives
the
him the defense kick again, but he might have just given up his life for it. The ensnare. He attempts at a glimpse save. Not going to happen here. And Matama Man is apparently just going to run for more. Arrow out. Ninja Boogie's not that fast, but maybe a Sunstrike. Is Matama Man corralling him into it? Nope.
Even tries to get the Infest last hit, but I mean, some of these arrows have been pretty fortunate. Like you said, that arrow not even aimed at the Venomancer, but he catches it full in the face. If he doesn't get hit by that arrow, Liquid probably walk away with not much more. And during all this time, Mushi continuing to farm. We saw Complexity place such a premium on banning this in the second phase. Starting to see why.
Mushi he read. He's like, oh, this is Team Liquid's time. They're going to start using the Lifestealer. They're going to invade my jungle. I'm going to the other side of the map. They want to come chase me. They're going to have to bring a bunch of heroes away from my allies up to top lane. And even then, it's going to be tough for them to knock down that Anti-Mage.
Yeah, they've done a really, really good job so far in the early game of securing farm across the map from him. And it's just similar to what happened in Liquid's game. We're starting to see this trend develop. If you can force fights around the map, away from your one position, continue to give him that space, the game is going to heavily tilt in your favor.
When we say one position, we're referring to that true carry that you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Not necessarily the safe laner. In this case, it is Mineski, but for Liquid, it would obviously be their Invoker, right?
I mean, the numbers just refer to the farm priority more than the roles. That's what we usually associate it with, but for the most part, it was meant to denote who gets the farm, who prioritizes it the most. For this game, it's going to be Invoker, who's going to need a lot. His AoE crowd control, going to be the game saver. But Matama Man does have a lot of farm. He has been untouched because of this repeated 3-man aggression on the Invoker. And Anti-Mage, he's going to be their target. This would be a huge kill for Liquid.
Moonlight
Shadowed.
into
Jabs
the
is
setup
waiting,
here
though.
for was
Game
that,
senses it?
Was that game sense, or did they maybe spot him
I'm not
just
sure.
before the Moonlight Shadow?
They might have just jumped it like half a second early.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, now you know.
It's just mind control showing, though. And Mineski are kind of thinking, maybe we can go for
No,
this
don't
kill.
do it, dudes.
Don't do it. But they're thinking about it.
And
They're
meanwhile
also
on
thinking
top,
about top lane. Miracle's thinking about pushing forward.
They got their own trap set up.
Yep, they got a successful scan from the Dire. Miracle still comes forward, though, and pops the hand of Midas. They do manage to get the kill on the Rubik, but what an arrow! It nailed him, and Miracle somehow managed to get out of that Static Storm
Even
setup
gonna
on the
throw the
RP.
Sunstrike.
They got the Sunstrike because he wasn't in the Static Storm to finish off that Anti-Mage. A blunder at top leads to a kill at bottom for Miracle's Invoker.
he is like mind controlling them into these arrows because he is firing them from vision and they're still landing.
Well played, Williams.
That is the only way that he was going to get that kill, was with that arrow.
Got him. Miracle. Completely poisoned up. Go for the Force Spirit deny. He's going to move him away from the Force Spirit and finish him off with a nuke.
Drags him away.
And a send back here. Sure, the Venomancer is certainly dead. Forced all of Liquid up to this top lane, though.
Still not too bad for Liquid at all. They do lose the Invoker, but they managed to get 2 cores for themselves.
They almost have this Blink Dagger for the Magnus. So we're looking at this time where Liquid are beginning to make a bit of a comeback, right? They're getting some of these pretty key pickoffs like that AM kill. But we're going to have a huge spike in team fight from Mineski. Is it strong enough to beat Liquid?
Maybe. They've got a Deso on the Lifestealer, which is the big item pickup that they needed to be able to chunk these
Oh,
heroes.
right, as Mushi
Perfect
blinks forward.
timing.
Great timing for Liquid. Couldn't ask for a better freebie kill.
You get a few more of those, and suddenly the game becomes a little bit scarier. Unfortunate blink timing by him.
Yeah. And he's farming like some pretty safe camps, but smoke rotation. Well read by Liquid.
They read the respawn.
Where should Mushi be farming in these games?
I think that was okay, but up at top, Ice,
grabs him
mid-lift.
after the skewer. GH waited that one out, but a TP away is Ice's counter to that attempt. He's going to be able to get away scot-free and complete his Blink Dagger. That attempt at the Sunstrike, I don't know if it actually landed, but it was close.
In mid. Just trying to force things back as jabs. But that was a really good smoke, mainly because they thought, okay, there's no way that he's going into the south side jungle, so maybe if we just pick him up here, leaving the base. It's a really common time to go there right after you respawn, and it's such a big kill because it's just back-to-back deaths. Still, gold lead in favor of Mineski.
Forward with the Moonlight Shadow. GH runs into him. The Invis, now the counter detection, but Matumbadan already pops up, but countered by the RP. Curl locks down the Venomancer, and GH is trying to make their way away from this one, but Matumbaman's going to run out of his Rage Timer. It's now going to be silenced up, plus the Static Storm. He needs to be able to get on top of these supports, but he doesn't have an arrow. Comes in, managed to hit the Magnus square on, and Mushi with the extra damage will finish off that Lifestealer. TP out is no, it is successful for the Mirana. So they end up losing 2 in what was supposed to be Liquid finding a pickoff with their smoke.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going to be pretty good for a second, but they just weren't able to output enough damage. Their Invoker, of course, can't really contribute too much without any items. And now Anti-Mage going to make good use of that space, and this is always the scary thing about AM. You kill him back-to-back, but he outfarms anybody on the map.
Was that just like everybody in the game reading the same thing? You made the read. Hey, you get a couple more of those kills, you're back in business. Is Liquid thinking that? Re-go for the smoke gank on Anti-Mage. I'm presuming that's what they were trying to find, but Mineski, growing wise to their tricks, just stayed grouped up.
Mineski saw that nobody was going at that top area around their ward, and you always play off the vision in Dota in your wards. If you see nobody there, then by process of elimination, you can kind of hone in on where they can be. Liquid figured, well, we've got Blink on Rubik, that's our new vehicle. Plus, we've got this Lifestealer with Deso. We can pop anybody in the game, and if anything goes wrong, we can probably just sleep out. But Mineski were just a little bit too fast on that.
Yeah. And by the blink, we're referring to the stolen blink. He is getting a blink dagger as well, but is still another 600 gold away from that one.
Yeah, and so far, Anti-Mage, just a Vlad's. Manta surely going to follow this. And Mushi is one of the few AMs that still always goes back for this Vlad's. Like to mention that.
Why do you think that is?
It's good regen. I know he likes to hit Ancients.
I've heard...
he can also fight with it.
Yeah, like one of the reasons sometimes AMs like Linken's over the Aghanim Scepter is the mana regen.
Yeah.
Right, and that's obviously something Vlad's gives you.
You get it from the B Fury though, and you can always just strength tread switch. Or in switch. Invoker though, not really a hero until he gets his Aghanim Scepter, and as I say that, there he has it. That's always been the case with Invoker. I remember SECC had this interview where he's like, what's the problem with Invoker? And he's like, Invoker's a curious hero because so much of this hero has empty net worth. He doesn't do anything until you get a prerequisite amount of items. It's not just a Midas. You need a full Aghanim Scepter before you even decide to come into these fights.
Do you think he wants any more levels?
Probably. But the early game with this hero, kind of rough. The late game with this hero gets a lot better, though. He's the king of late game.
4-man by Liquid. Up to top lane. Manages to bring down that tier 2, but Mineski almost run into Miracle, but it's going to Miracle who finds them first. They're going to get the combination on both of them. TP out, not going to be able to make it out for the Magnus. Looks like Ice is going to be caught, and he can manage to get the Tornado on the Disruptor, and Liquid just keep on pushing. Miracle is stopped so much that they might be able to get a lane of Rax off of this one. Earth Spirit makes this initiation at the top lane, and that's where we got to go to now as the AM makes his jump in, follow up. He's trying to finish things up, but he's only got one of these kills so far. Here comes the rest of the damage. Locked down by the Snare. Mind Control gets it, and all of a sudden, Liquid, just like last game, or was it game number 1, I'm sorry.
Despite all that happening, Mineski still has the gold lead, but if they lose this Rex, that's all going to change. The Veno slithering his way forward, but even with Kuro dead,
oh no,
maybe not.
The Rax isn't dead. Mind Control's got to stick around for this one, right? He's going to throw the arrow and finish off the Venomancer. He wants this kill real quickly with a Sunstrike and a GH here as well. They should be able to get it. Moon's just a little bit closer with the Static Storm, and now the slowdown is not enough.
Oh, you
and now
done
they're
messed
both
up,
stuck in
Liquid.
the Static Storm. At least they get the melee Rax. Thank goodness they finished that one, or else it would have been a total disaster for Liquid. But they get the big objective. What a windfall for Liquid.
Miracle staying invis, finds 2 heroes trying to TP, catches all 3 of them in that attempt, finishes off the Magnus, sets up for that Disruptor, allows his team to go for that high ground push. Deja vu once again. Mineski, you have a lead, you have this anti-mage, but you need some time still.
Still top 2 net worth, and yet down a melee Rax. What an incredible turnaround.
That
Team
is crazy.
Liquid, they still...
That was such an early Rax, too.
Yeah. I mean, so was that game 1. Wasn't that pretty around
It was
this
later,
time as
and
well?
plus this was a melee Rax. That's the bit larger issue. The other one was a range Rax, so you don't care as much. But this is so weird. Like, I don't know how that happens. And the Veno, I don't think was there for that attempt either. It is actually Deja Vu. The Veno wasn't there to place the wards.
Yeah.
So then,
Next thing you know.
okay, I guess they just pick up a free Rax. They do have a Deso Lifestealer. He cuts through buildings quite quickly.
Yeah, he just took a Shrine. Boy, this map control is going to start falling apart for Mineski. This was looking so good because the timing shouldn't have been Liquid being able to push a high ground fight for maybe like 5, at least 10 minutes now from now, but instead they've already got it and sped up this game dramatically. An arrow right on top of Moon. They're going to try and finish him off here. They will be able to do it with the nukes. Now the Static Storm follow-up. Jab's going to be gone on here. He's completely stuck next to Matamba Man, so he's done for. Liquid are going to try and pick up that other support, chasing down Ninja Boogie. It's going to take him a little while, but I don't think Ninja Boogie's going to be able to make it on that one, or maybe he will. Nice Static Storm, or Kinetic Field rather, and the TP out on the high ground.
Now they're going to just, it looks like they just want to hit the Shrine, but I think Roshan is the better target here. And this is so wild because for some reason, Mind Control just keeps getting these arrows off on these cores. I'm not quite sure how he does it, but he's making Mirana look playable from the 3-roll.
Matamba Man, a life stealer with an Armlet Desolator, soon to be a Assault Cuirass, and has Alacrity on him. Eats through Roshan pretty damn quickly, and all the Aegis in hands now.
And a game that looks so promising for Mineski. You can't relax against this Liquid team. They take everything from you.
Ooh,
they're so decisive.
Up to top lane here. Is this an opportunity for a kill? You've got your lockdown hero. RP
you
is
really
up.
need this kill.
But he misses it! Miracle! One step ahead of him again.
He's just showing off at this point.
And he's going to try and catch him on the way back. He knows they've already blown it. They don't have anything to lock him down.
He's tracking him.
Yep. He's going to make sure these heroes can't simply TP in front and get away. Ice is going to be hit by the Tornado. And the arrow fishes out Mushi, but he already blinks himself away, so it is just going to be our Magnus caught.
Yeah, that would have been unbelievable if he gets that. Has the Empower for his Lifestealer now. Liquid, everything's starting to come together. That early game, you couldn't have scripted that better for Mineski. Nobody was contesting that AM's farm. Magnus was largely untouched. That Veno mid was doing so well for himself. But 1 or 2 mistakes leads to us being in a situation where Mineski's down a Rax early, and it always puts pressure on that top lane. It makes it so that you always have to have a core shoving out that lane, which means Liquid can make plays happen at any moment.
Now Liquid just have to stop these tier 2s at bottom and mid, while Miracle is going to play defense duty. And with that long duration of a tornado, he can easily set up his teammates to TP in if he catches the right heroes.
Yeah, they're going to grab this tower for free. And what he's trying to do is make the exact same play, see if anybody stays, push out the lane back. If anybody did stay, now your team has racks again. But Mineski, they're going to learn, start preemptively placing these Venom wards.
An attempted aggressive force staff into the boulder doesn't work, and Matamba Man is going to have
wanna
another
go high
chance
ground.
here.
He
to
is
beat on
destroying
that
this
tier
tower.
3 Alacrity in the rage, but oh, whoa! Telekinesis actually stopped at the charge back. Matamba Man would have been a terrible spot if he had died all the way back there, but instead he dies right next to the tier 3. Great reaction from GH. Sparing Matamba Man his awkward positioning. Now actually turns on the rage and goes directly into Moon, but he ignores the heroes now, doesn't go for chase because he knows how much damage he does to the buildings. Now jabs at the backline. Mushi, they need to get the lockdown of Miracle. If they can do enough damage to him, they can pop him with the ultimate, but he's not burned enough. So instead, Mushi's going to try and finish off the Nagasar and make sure there's no escape with the sleep, and then clean up whatever heroes is next. Now Miracle gets the tornado just in time. There's no refresh with the ultimate. Oh, it did refresh, so maybe he can still get this kill.
Tick.
Tick, tick, tick. Miracle might just drop while Mind Control fights up against it. Jabs did get that kill on Miracle with the damage over time. A huge pickup. And the escape, no, the turnaround. GH with him and Tumba Man is going to actually get a kill onto the Earth Spirit before they run themselves away.
And bottom racks.
Did he? He went down, right? Oh, it didn't go down. Are you
I don't
serious?
think it went
They're one
down.
hit away.
It had one hit, and they turned
It's
around.
still there. It's regenning.
Oh.
Oh, no.
If they hit that and they kill it, it's worth it.
Yes.
But they turned around just a second too late, or too early, I should say.
They're going back in.
They need to grab this. You can't walk away empty-handed.
He's trying to make it fast. He sees him. Can he get the kinetic field control? Static Storm? Anything? He doesn't have Static Storm. He can't stop him.
Just a TP away now.
Oh, no.
Got a little bit later. If Mineski was able to hold that, really good win for them there.
So still worth it.
Yeah.
All good.
They did manage to kill the Invoker, though. Significant pickup for Mineski. Your anti-mage forced into a position where he has to go for that early BKB. And this is something we normally see much later on. You usually see the item progression goes the Manta style, then the Basher for the lockdown so you can actually kill heroes. Then you grab the BKB when you realize.
Magnus. Mind Control. I think he tried to jump him. See how low Ice got, but...
Had to use the RP for that, though.
RP, TP out.
Yeah, has a BKB now. Completed on that Magnus.
Okay, so we're finally getting to the Manta on the AM, which is really where you turn into a big damage dealer jabs, making sure that Mushi's going to be okay, because he can't get out of these ensnares until he has the Manta.
No, he cannot, and Jabs has always been there with these kicks.
GH. Moonlight Shadow runs right into a core Venomancer. He keeps on delivering kill after kill. You said we didn't have much of a vehicle, but apparently Rubik against an AM turns out to be a perfect vehicle, especially after you get the Blink Dagger as well.
I guess so. He just kind of walks up to people.
Moonlight Shadow as well, yeah.
And it's legit, as he also has Empower. So this is Empowered Lifestealer who can also get Alacrity on him. That's how he chewed through those racks so quickly at bottom. And Mineski, you've got to play decisively here.
But they don't have RP, so they can't
Maybe
really jump.
You have Sleep.
Oh, they managed to get the kick onto him with the Static Storm. What a combination. That's amazing. Mushi
There's
might
the
just be able to
net.
finish him off, but the BKB is just not enough timing. Finally, it runs out, but no, he couldn't make the blink away.
Oh, there's
that
the
was going to be
bash.
dead as well. Ice got bashed up. Now it's just cleanup time. Pick up one support. Nice jump in from Jabs. Might be able to get the kill still onto the lifesteal. He does manage to get it, but Liquid still have enough damage to be able to go for these objectives, and they
They're
have no
gonna call
buybacks.
it.
They call it.
Oh, no.
I thought for sure this was going to be a 2-1 lead for Mineski.
It certainly looked like that with the early game. Couldn't have asked for a better start, but Liquid, you give them an inch, they take a mile. One bad fight, they accidentally TP under the guise of the Invoker. He manages to cancel some. They just take racks off that.
We made this mistake at game number 1 for Mineski, but it didn't cost them the game.
Yes.
This time it did.
This time it does.
What is it about it? Why did this happen 2 times in this one series?
I'm not sure. Maybe just it has to be a lack of communication about what's going on. But in any case, now they're down. 2-1 in a game that if they lose the series, they're going to kick themselves over.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you're always going to turn back to this game 3 and think, because game 2 was like a wash, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we lost in the draft.
Game
whatever.
2
But
was
this
pretty-
game 3, they could have won, and they could have been one game away from closing out this series and beating Liquid, which would have just been a historic win for Mineski.
Can't count this Liquid team out, but at the same time, Mineski, they came back with a different kind of fire. Let's see what happens.
All right, over to the panel. Analysis of game number 3.
World Electronic Sports Games returns with a new season, the largest championship among national teams in the history of esports. Dota 2, Hearthstone, CSGO, StarCraft 2, and $5.5 million at stake. European finals will be held in marvelous Barcelona from the 22nd to the 26th of November. Win your slot in the finals of the World Championship. Register right now.
Spirit and Anti-Mage, two heroes that had a 100% win rate throughout the entire tournament and beyond, especially for Mineski in terms of the Anti-Mage. Defeated Mineski, they lose against Liquid here in the third game of the grand finals of the Starletter I-League Invitational. And according to many, they shouldn't have lost, especially not since they had first pick, they had the upper hand, they were doing so well in the lanes. To break this game down, I have Gods and Winter with me. Gentlemen, welcome back. This game should have been Mineski's, Winter.
Tilt loss.
Tilt loss.
Very tilting loss. Ah, that was bad.
Oh, the loss was tilting, not they lost because they tilted.
Kind of both too.
Okay.
I think they kind of tilted too.
Yeah?
After the Invoker actually cancelled their TPs and they lost the Rex.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. Gods, this game overall, I mean, it was a weird game because there was a draft, and we talked about before with Kyle and Moo, and they said, well, Mineski got the better draft.
Yeah, there's weird stuff happening all over from the start. Mirana gets clipped at level 1. There was some just like very aggressive plays, like where the Venom gets zoned out, still gets a kill. Miracle was a bit slow to get off the starting blocks. Wasn't hitting all the wasn't finding the Sunstrike kills with his team. But once he got farmed, when he got to that Aghanim's Invoker level like 18, 19, 20 stage, then he came online. Then he had that big impact that everyone knows Miracle can have on Invoker. He is the best Invoker player in the world, hands down. And he showed it here. He made the plays his team needed to win this game when they were, in theory, at a big deficit.
But Mineski, on the other hand, they sort of like made it easy for him. They allowed it. Once they actually got the advantage from the lanes, they got an advantage. They won, like, can probably consider they won at least 2 out of 3 of their lanes. And when the Venom was strong, they didn't really like push. So basically, the idea is like they have this Magnus. Once he has his dagger after the helm, they probably should be pushing together as 4, group up with the Venom. If they come and fight and defend the towers, RP into Static Storm or Earth Spirit Ultimate, and there's a very good chance you win the fights during that stage before they have their BKBs. But that didn't happen. There was a lot of like very chaotic fighting happening. Like there's a pick-off here. Ruby got so many pick-offs with the stolen blink from Anti-Mage, and he was the vehicle for Matumba Man. And that got them a lot of kills because Mineski weren't really group up together. They weren't disciplined enough. Like you have a good lead, but you have to still do the right moves to win the game. You can't just slack off, you know. Oh, we have AM, we have Magnus, and we're ahead, you know.
Yeah, we're ahead. We were winning.
The discipline was definitely, like, I think the key thing there that was missing. We saw, I think especially Ice have one of his weaker games of the tournament. He was one of the people getting caught out a little bit, missed a crucial RP at bottom lane as well. Another great Jabs performance. He really has been like a standout on
Yeah.
that forward
Yeah.
position. He did everything he could to try and defend high ground multiple times. He was really impressive to watch on the Earth Spirit, but I mean, it's not enough when Liquid's getting those and punishing those mistakes that
Yeah.
the Mineski core heroes were making.
This is like their most sloppy game, I think, in the series so far. I mean, obviously they played really bad after the early game. Coordination wise and discipline wise, really bad this game. It's definitely a game that they should not have lost. I mean, AM, you get such a smooth game, and on top of that, you have Magnus with you. You generally don't lose games like that.
Can we talk about Moran offlane? Because I like it. It's not really considered a good hero anymore, but Mind Control
What?
made it
Mirana
look
is not a good hero, you said?
offlane.
I guess it's. I
Not a
don't think
conventional
it's
hero,
it's
for sure,
okay.
yeah.
It's decent. I don't think it's bad.
He hit all his, well, not all his arrows, but he hit a lot of great arrows. That made him,
Yep.
that made that hero pick seem like, wow, why don't more
Yeah.
people pick this?
There was something about this
I'm
draft
offline.
where it was like, whoa, what? Like Naga support, Invoker, Moran offline. Like these, I mean, the Invoker and Naga have not been seen since like TI. Obviously, that was a classic miracle hero that they would often go to.
Yeah.
And I think it really showed that Mineski are not comfortable versing these heroes because they haven't versed them in a while. Like not many teams are really, no one's picking Invoker. That Moran are just finding these arrows. There's definitely a strong level of discomfort.
I mean, you say that, but it's more like, I think, them losing the discipline themselves, you know. I think if they play like this, regardless of what they are playing against, they will lose the game because they make so many mistakes, you know.
Sure.
And at this point of the game, Mineski is still all over Liquid.
This was the triple kill. This
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
really nicely
This
done.
was the you don't mess with the green heroes, you know, the Earth Spirit and the
And then Amanda-
Yeah.
This was the disaster.
Yeah, look
Two
at that
TPs.
meme,
look, you know how impressive is this play? Like 1 out of 10 invokers, I'm sure. I mean, he's the only invoker that would actually be out on the map. There were 4 heroes out of vision, and you are losing as an invoker side, and you as an invoker, you're not fat. How many invokers would actually have the balls to actually walk out of the base and try a play like that?
Yeah.
Like the most common play would be inside the invoker would be inside the base or maybe pushing up bot lane. He would not be anywhere near that area. But Miracle was there. He was just scouting with Ghost Walk, and he got a big play there.
Yeah.
He scouts while not getting too close to like reveal that he's there. Very, very impressive stuff.
Arrow from a distance, Mind Control. I mean, here is still Liquid lose both GH and Mind Control, I believe. But at least Mind Control decides, you know, wait a second, I'm gonna die, but
Yeah.
let me just hit this Rax.
I mean, if he didn't get the Rex, that would be a tilt in return for Liquid. Maybe they would get mad.
We
for
talked
that.
about the
Another
Mineski
arrow.
misplays. That happens twice actually for Liquid, where they almost don't get the racks then, and then in the bottom lane they also
Yeah.
don't get the last on the racks, and Matu has to come back later to finish it off.
Yeah,
with his
and
rage.
just look at this sequence of events as well. Like Venom was like running to his team. That itself is not optimal already. You want Venom to be pushing out a lane and the rest of the team to go to the lane. You don't want the Venom to be moving around all the time last. Because Venom is a very slow hero and you want to play around the Venom. The Venom should be in a lane, pushing a tower, and the team goes to him or the team tries to smoke in another lane to get something done on the map. But the
Yeah.
Venom was always the one following his team. He was actually should be the hero that's leading the team. Okay, I want to push this tower. Guys, come here. I'm here now. I want to push here. Don't go there. Instead, he was like, oh, you guys are here. I'm going to slither my way up, you know. Oh, you guys are bot. I'm coming. Like, he wasn't like,
it was a little bit slow.
he wasn't leading the charge. He wasn't leading
Yeah.
the momentum. Like, you remember the previous game where Matu was on the Venom and the game where Mushi was on the Venom, they were like leading a lot of pushes, they were pressuring, they were doing a lot of stuff that made it really hard for the enemy to play. But this Venom was like, he got a good lane, but he just kept on farming and he wasn't pressuring the enemy. He wasn't doing the right moves, despite being rich.
Yeah, and we made Mind Control the MVP for the many arrows. Could have done Miracle, of course, but you got the MVP previous game. So, you know, you wanna spread the love a little bit. But yeah, that means that Team Liquid is now 1 game up in the series. It is a best of 5, of course. By the way, you know there's going to be a little break, you know, that's tradition, but I have something for you to do in this break. Because while we're in a break, you can go to wesg.com. Sign up with your team and participate in the European qualifier. You actually have a chance to win that because a lot of the professional teams are not playing because A, there's too many qualifiers, and B, they don't have a team that is from the same country. So you do have to find 4 fellow countrymen and register and play. The qualifier, the registration ends in a couple of days, so you don't have that much time left. There's a lot of money on the line, and if you win the qualifiers, you get flown out to Barcelona, Spain, and you get to play for that lot of money. It's going to be, well, the total prize pool of all games combined is like $5.5 million. It's a lot of money. And yeah, you have a chance to get a piece of that. If you're good enough, of course. Maybe you are, and then you should register and play. So make sure you check that out in the break. And when we're back, we're going to continue with our grand finals here for the StarLadder I-League Invitational. So stay tuned.